Who's Rachel? She get a bow for thank you.
Yeah, flame torch. Alright guys, so let's thank Modi, Mark Dweck, and his wife Rachel, hosting tonight.
Thank you, Modi.
Modi's been trying for a long time to get this spot, and thank God he got it. So if you try, and then you're gonna get it.
Zak Baruch.
Zak Baruch. And next week we have Jackie Monster at the
Wow.
shop. So we're set up hopefully. By the way, soon,
Stay tuned.
guys. Soon in a few weeks, Ali, in a few weeks, we're gonna be having our nice event. We're still planning on it, but it's only 20 days left. 20 days left till we finish the whole Tehilim. 1 year.
Wow.
1 year anniversary.
What are we gonna do? Amaray?
Not Amaray. We'll skill it. We'll skill something. We'll skill something nice. Make it nice. But that's who's sponsored tonight? Who's sponsored? Elstein. Sponsored the whole month?
Month? Probably.
Not yet. No. So thanks to the pedals, David Elstein, for sponsoring tonight.
Zak Baruch.
Zak Baruch. All the just has to have blessings and simchot and more kids and only health and happiness.
Amen.
And for the sponsor also for Edelstein Pedals, your family should have only baracha and smicha and all happiness. This week's Parasha is a really tough one. I don't know if you guys looked at it, but
What's the name?
Mishpatim, speaking about all the laws, all the halachot. If you speak to anyone, this is probably the hardest Parasha to give a class to you guys on this week.
You up for the challenge?
It is the hardest Parasha in the whole Torah to give a class on. You know why? Because it just speaks about all halachot.
It's boring.
It's what it is. It sounds like, okay, it's a boring halakha
A
class.
Musar class.
Not even Musar. How are you going to take halakha? How would you take Musar from Basar v'Chalab?
Yeah.
Right? How are you going to find anything from this parasha? It says don't hit your father, don't steal, don't curse, don't sleep with your sister, don't sleep with your aunt. What are you going to learn from this parasha?
Don't Moses family.
It's recording.
What does that mean?
We'll crop that out.
Uncalled for.
I don't get it. I missed it, by the way. Wasn't listening.
Oh, wait, that's totally not at all a problem because everyone's it's different. Parasha talking about all things out of Yisud. So what are you going to learn from this parasha? There's nothing to teach you guys. You guys want good stuff, right? If I come here with like a class about halakha, you're like, okay, that's the last time Charles is coming, right? I'm done. So I have to give you an interesting class. So this week is a very hard class. So hopefully tonight we get an interesting topic. I worked hard to get the right topic out of this class. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Eddie, you still don't want to take your jacket off, right? You're still good?
They really are
Recording.
It's recording, on camera. You want to take your
You
jacket?
shot my jacket.
Okay, good. It's like Keton Yosef for the
reason, yeah.
Still not sure.
Spider. Can we get a picture? Can we get a visual?
Alright guys, so in order to understand this topic tonight, I have to rewind one parasha back to Yitro. I have paper and pen this week. I have to go back 1 week to Yitro. To understand this week, I have to go back 1 week. Let's speak about Yitro. By Yitro, that parasha speaks about how Yitro was a convert, right? And he left his whole position and he went to become part of Am Yisrael, the nation of Israel, right? But there's an interesting question. By Yitro, it says, right before the parasha starts, the whole story about Yitro himself. How he converted, why he converted, and then he comes to join Bnei Yisrael. Later on in that parasha, it speaks about Matan Torah, right? The 10 Commandments are given in his parasha. Last week if you went to Shul, you saw Anochi Hashem, Lo Tisa, all that was in his parasha last week. So it was a famous question. Why does the Torah give the 10 Commandments right after telling me that Yitro converted and left his position and left his luxury life and went to join Bnei Yisrael? What does one have to do with another one?
Show that Judaism in general accepts converts and everyone's equal.
Right, but so you can give the 10 Commandments
what-
later on.
To understand fully what he was choosing.
Makes sense. Makes sense. A little more. I want a little more deeper. Again, the question is, if you're going to give the 10 Commandments, you can give it after Bnei Yisrael left
This
Mitzrayim.
is part of the story. It's like, alright, Yitro converted. What did he convert to? Oh, let me tell you.
Saying even converts.
Right away.
Have to commit to this.
Right away.
What's right away? No matter what.
The story of Yitro that he converted goes right into the 10 Commandments. Meaning the story of 10 Commandments was given in his parasha right after it says that he converted. Like
The question is why.
Question is why?
is it that
Why not wait a parasha later? Why not wait till this week, which is the halakha, the parasha of all laws? It should
They
be.
didn't get the Torah yet.
Last week they got the Torah.
No.
Last week was Matan Torah.
No, they were not given the Torah, they were given the 10 Commandments.
Is he saying the Ten
Ten
Commandments?
Commandments,
Ten
yeah.
It's not
Commandments.
the Torah.
Okay, it's not Matan Torah. Matan Torah is in next week, no?
No, this week. This past week was Matan Torah. 10 Commandments, the giving of the Torah.
No, he didn't come down with the Luchot yet.
No,
What do you mean,
the
10
commandments was given to Bnei Israel.
He did not come out with the Luchot yet.
No, forget whether he took it down or not. He got it.
Hashem gave it to
He gave
him.
it. It's in his hands.
Hashem gave it to
He didn't come
Moshe.
down yet with it, but
Moshe
he
didn't give
got
it to the people.
Everyone heard it. It was already done.
That's why he's still up there.
It took 4 days to learn it and to go over it.
Writing it.
Write it
He was
down.
on a mountain. He has to climb
Right.
down from a mountain.
So
It takes like one day.
10 minutes to get down Masala.
with the cable car. So,
There's no trail then, you know?
Right.
so that's the main question. Why does the Torah mention right before the giving of the 10 Commandments the whole story of Yitro? That's the question. So far we get there, and here's the answer. The answer is like this: Yitro was a priest and a rich man and had everything he wanted in life. He was a luxury man. He left everything. He went into the desert. From here we learn a major rule in coming to class and learn Torah and everything. If you want to come to learn Torah, it's got to come from yourself. You have to want to come to learn Torah. The rabbi can't text you and say, "Listen, I want you to come tonight," and beg him to come, because that's not the way eventually you're going to grasp the Torah. If you want to learn Torah, it's got to come from yourself. It's got to come from love. If it's not out of love, eventually it's not going to work. Yitro did it totally out of love. So if we did it out of love, that's the way the Torah wants you to get Torah. Meaning, the reason why they told us about Yitro first is because they want to teach us, act like Yitro. Yitro did it totally out of love.
Right.
Before you
That's what I
come-
was gonna say. We were forced. It was
We were
mountain on our
forced,
heads.
right?
Yeah, but how do you force yourself to love?
You can't force yourself to
No,
love.
he fell in love.
So you're not in love now. What?
You're not in love. You have to build a love.
You can build love. Like, I mean, I'm not married, so I can't say it, but they say if you buy a wife something all the
Yes.
time,
Yeah, it's like religious.
and then
Yes.
love her more. Like, think about it.
Religious
Your kid.
people, they get married,
The
they
more
don't
you
love
do
the
for your
person.
kid, the
you
more
know?
you
should do.
give of yourself for nothing in return, the more you love
We're
it.
not rapping, no?
I hear.
Wow.
Giving religion.
That's
Do you know?
Things that I love, I get something in return.
That's
Everything.
that's
daughter.
that's
Heaven.
Of
That's
course I do. I get a smile in return.
No, but that
Yeah, that's
smile
what
from
you
me,
need.
you don't give a shit about that smile from me.
She's cute.
Hey-oh.
A cute cheek.
Crop that
No.
out.
That's what a million does.
Your wife don't give you a smile to make you feel like that.
The wife does a job. That's what she's for. That's what it's about.
so love could be two things. It could either be
On camera.
there could either there could either be
Crop that
conditional.
out.
There could either be love that's a little rough tonight. I think I think Eddie's jacket is very good one good guess.
They say
I hear your question.
A lot of
Fake
money.
it, right? Basically, that's the thing. Fake it if you don't love it.
I wouldn't say
doing
that.
it.
Fake it.
I wouldn't
Make
say
it.
that.
No.
It's gotta be.
If you
It's,
fake it, eventually you like it.
It's controversial. Yeah.
listen, it's again. There's two types of love. There's love that's based on an interest, meaning the reason why I
Conditional
love
love,
kibbeh is because it tastes good. If it doesn't taste good, I don't love it. That's a conditional love, and there's unconditional love, meaning I love kibbeh because I love kibbeh. That's it. That's
No offense. I think it's really for the big rabbis to really say that love. I don't think we're on the level.
no.
You don't love religion?
No, it's not hard to love religion. It's not an easy thing to come to love to come to class. It's,
No, I'm saying, but
very
you
hard. It's very hard. You can love one thing. You can love Shabbat. Do you agree with me? Do you guys? Did anyone? I mean,
I
did anyone love Shabbat?
Love
Love
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Not the actual,
No, Joe.
like love it the actual day of Shabbat. Just chill out with the family, so you can appreciate that. So some guys appreciate
On
Shabbat.
the camera.
Some guys appreciate Simchat Torah. Right? Everyone loves Simchat Torah. Some guys love Yom Kippur. Everyone has a different love. Everyone has a different love. But who can say they love everything? It's very hard to do that. That's not what I'm talking about tonight.
Right.
I'm talking about coming to class Tuesday night right now.
Wow, Kenny, you're 18.
Yeah, but the boys come to class to see the boys.
Right. So
You
that's
also learn Torah.
so that brings us together.
Come to see the
All
boys.
these numbers.
So you guys.
I don't love this man. I love this.
What a scam!
But you come to the class on your own. You come on your own. Meaning I send you one small text, but you already made it about you come to class. That's what it's all about. Eventually, later on, it's become
You're
nature.
saying is to come because you love Torah. How do you get to that level?
You have to work on it to get to that point. It's not just gonna be overnight. The same way with the wife. When you get married, the next morning you're not totally, it's not everything's, crazy heavy stuff. The next morning you wake up, everything's back to normal. So you have to build it back up. That's what ahava is. Ali said ahava. You know what ahava means? The word Hebrew ahava, love, has a root word inside it. It means have. Ahava, the root word of ahava is have, to give. When you give, that's when you love. That's the only way you can love.
Yeah, you give charity, you feel good.
Forget charity.
In general,
Your
give
son,
something,
your
you feel
kids, right? When you
Yeah.
give children, honestly, they give you nothing in return. Nothing. You change diapers, wake up in the morning, wake up at night, they scream, they yell, they cry, they want food. They don't give you anything back besides for a smile, like you said. But when you give them, the more you give them, the more you love them. Why would you love them? What makes you love them? If you think about it, if logically, there's nothing to love about them. They just cry, make, eat, and just, they don't give anything back. They don't say thank you, Dad, until they get older. So for the first couple of years, they're just doing something for free. But that's the biggest love, because you really love them, because you're just doing it because you feel that's what you have to do. So Yitro just left everything and came to join Am Yisrael because he saw that the Jew, again, if we're a non-Jew, we're a Jewish person, so we don't see the difference. But a non-Jew, when you talk to him about all these concepts of the Torah, he starts to think, wow, something out there, and he might end up loving this thing. So Yitro heard everything, and he said, wow, the Jewish nation has an amazing thing, and I want to join them. So he loved to join the nation. Again, not Torah, because Torah wasn't given yet. But he
also makes it a lot easier knowing that your son-in-law is the guy.
That
Join, I'm saying, any random guy couldn't just go and join.
I hear you saying that Moshe was his son-in-law, right? But still, he was a priest of the whole nation. He didn't have to.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't.
Right, I'm saying he didn't have to convert. He totally decided on his own. Again, imagine the guy's living in the White House, and all of a sudden he ditches the White House and says, you know what? I'm going to join the guy in Texas.
Think about it. This guy signed on to just go wander 40 years in the
He just jumped into the desert. Imagine that. You just jumped into the desert. He didn't know what's going on.
Very hard.
For a non-Jew to jump into the
He
desert.
lived in the desert already, no? It was
Yeah, but
It
that was
doesn't mean
popular.
nothing.
No, I'm just.
Yeah.
City.
Yeah, they had a whole city. That was the
Yeah.
king of the city. Imagine him to leave the city and go to the desert.
It's like Putin coming to join Trump's cabinet.
No, forget that.
Exactly.
It's not like that. 'Cause the guy lives in the White House. It's like Putin coming to live in, in South Africa with the guys that are in there. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
So it totally doesn't make any sense. But that's the answer. That Yitro yearned to come and join the nation. That's what Torah tells you. You want to learn how to get Torah. You want to learn how to become a good Jew. You have to yearn to do certain things. That's all I'm saying tonight. That's pretty much what it's about.
Right.
So now we get to the point where the guy has to, he wants to go to shul. It's a huge level. But let's say he gets to the point where I want to go to class. I want to go to shul. I want to go to a one Rab Mansour.
Class.
You know what?
We're all here.
Forget coming to class. Guys driving to work. I want to put on a Rab Mansour class on my radio. What makes him want to do it? No one's forced him. The guy can listen to anything you want on the radio. You have XM, 500 channels. You can pick any channel you want. But the guy decides he wants to, put a Rav Mansour class on the car.
You have a channel, Rebecca?
No, I'm just giving you an example.
Sign him up.
There's someone on the channel, right?
It's kind of like a channel. You go and you pick it.
No, but I
Podcast.
thought there was a guy on a channel.
No, it's a channel.
No, it's not channel, but basically you can choose. You can choose anything you want. But the guy that puts on the radio, the guy that puts on a class in his car, so he chose to hear a class, right? You guys agree with me?
Correct.
He chose. Exactly, you hear me, right? He
Could have all
chose.
stayed home tonight. Well, yeah.
Right. No reason for you to come besides for the food, right? So basically, for a guy to put a class on in his car, it comes from his heart. He wants to put a class on. That's what it's all about.
Or it's because you're trying to pretend to get to that level.
Even pretending is
Also,
good.
when you want something in life, you want to get close to Hashem.
Right, so you're
you have a
yearning.
problem, you want to get married.
Fine,
you
that's
wanna-
nothing wrong with that. So you're yearning to get to a certain thing.
You think it's the right thing to do, so you try to force yourself.
So you try to force yourself.
to do it.
But eventually-
you have a pocket when it's empty, you fill
Right.
it with this
But then
class.
all of a sudden you put a class on and you hear, wow, nice class. The next time you put it on again. So eventually, in the beginning it's fake, but it comes to a real thing. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Listen, they always say if you don't want to smile, right? The guy has a hard time smiling. They say practice smiling. Just smile fake. Because if you start smiling fake, you're gonna be able. Your muscles are gonna be relaxed, and you're gonna be able to smile much easier. It's a scientific
When you
reason.
smile, it makes you feel better.
100%.
If you fake it even.
Even if you fake
If you
it.
fake
Please,
smiling,
slow.
now that, if you fake smiling for enough time, you'll
Hey.
get that smile real.
Yeah.
Right, you'll be smiling on your own.
If you
Makes
fake
you
laughing,
happier.
if
Nature.
you fake laughing, it's
Be
not
nature.
nature. It's not nature.
No, it'll become your nature.
No?
Yes, yes,
If
yes.
you smile, automatically your body feels better.
Yeah, it's
natural.
I read a research on something with
I'll tell you
something
what, I'll tell you
with
what it is. Your
feeling.
brain and your mind and your body is so connected
You just
where if you're happy, your brain is sending signals to your body to laugh, right?
good so far.
Right.
Yeah, awesome.
And then based on what your body's doing, your mind feels.
What's up, Aaron?
If you
I'm so
send
bad.
fake signals to your body to laugh, it'll then send signals to your body that you're laughing.
I feel you.
I said it.
Agreed.
All right, so basically we just spoke about the only way to, the real way to to become closer to everything in Judaism is out of your own desire to do it, and out of yearning to become a better person. It has to come from you. I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea what this means.
Yeah, but like, I have a question.
Yeah, what's the question?
What if the same idea of sitting there and smiling,
Right.
smiling, so faking it.
In the beginning you fake it,
What if you told someone, force me to go to shul,
right?
force me every week to go to shul? You gonna think that one day, oh, you're gonna like it?
No, you force yourself to go to shul is different.
No, he's
Someone forcing you.
saying I
To
force you.
fake it, I'm faking it. Oh, I'm going to shul. I love it. Yeah, take me to shul because I love it.
No, then eventually you just lying to yourself, and
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying.
So you can fake it for a certain amount of
You
time.
can fake it to yourself. It's a big difference if he makes you fake it, or if you decide on your own to fake it. Like for example, if I didn't want to come to this class,
Right.
I was not in a good head, I wasn't in the mood, I was tired, whatever, and I just pushed myself to come, even though I had no interest to come. Not only will I enjoy it, but I'll leave saying I'm very happy I came.
Like going to the gym.
Not have someone. Okay, I got you.
You're saying if a guy really does not want to go, he just goes anyway, just makes himself feel happy,
Yeah,
or
as soon as he's gonna crack, like say,
either two things will happen: either he's gonna crack,
By the way, he might,
or he might like it, or he might like it.
Right.
I'm not gonna say names,
So
but
he
one
might
of my
like it.
friends.
No, I have no idea.
Most of
Oh, I thought he was talking about me.
most of the times, no. Again, here's a different situation because again, it has to come from a
It's
right.
not.
Right.
It's not, by the way.
Yeah, you're right.
Turn this
I
camera
wasn't
off.
thinking that.
Not really. I mean, I'm in the class. I mean, after
So the questions at the end.
Then you shouldn't be saying it.
if a guy is doing everything he's supposed to do, and all of a sudden it doesn't fit in, means that there's something missing. That's all I'm saying. I'll tell you once again. If a guy comes to class for years and years and he doesn't feel anything, everything's dry. So it's either two things. Either there's something wrong with the person giving the class, he's not giving it over interesting enough.
Right.
And it happens a lot of times. You go to class and just the class is boring.
Yeah.
The class is just boring. That's what my job is, to make it interesting. Because if I make it boring, you're not coming back next week.
Here's the problem, Joss.
Yeah.
I go to the gym every day, 7 a.m. Every
Right.
day I get stronger. I feel stronger. I go to class every week, 8 o'clock.
You don't feel
on
anything.
Tuesday night. I don't feel anything.
You don't feel anything. You
I
don't
feel a
feel
little
it.
smarter, maybe. I know different angles, but it's not much that
I go, you're lazy.
No.
different.
It's a great
Whenever
question.
I'm working, you're lazy.
No, it's not. It's a
Yeah, but
difference.
You go wake up at 7, you're lazy also. You're tired, but you get there.
There's a difference between, it's first of all, the obvious difference is one's physical, one's spiritual. Spiritual, you're not going to see a difference. However, one day you will. Maybe not now, maybe not in 10 years, but one day you'll see a difference. Maybe your kids will, maybe you will, but it comes from, it's inside of you. It's inside whether you want to agree or not. Like a guy that goes to class and he falls asleep. So the rabbi tells him, because one rabbi will tell you, why are you coming to class to fall asleep for? That's one rabbi. And one rabbi will say, you know what, come to class and fall asleep.
I'll bring you a pillow.
You know why? Because when you come to class and you fall asleep, maybe your brain right now is not understanding, but your neshama gets everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a spiritual answer. That guy says, I'm coming to class, I'm gonna fall asleep again. Because for him, that's what it is. So again, a guy that's coming to classes and he's not feeling it.
Every week.
You hear this? A guy that's faking it and he's not feeling it. There's either two things. Either the guy giving the class is doing it wrong, meaning it's not coming out of his heart, or he's getting paid a lot of money, so he's doing it. Nothing wrong with getting paid, but if it's doing it because of money only, then it's not going to come out good. And if it's not coming from the heart, it's not going to come out good. And if it's not interesting, it's not going to come out good. And the second thing is if the guy itself just does not want to listen, then it's never going to work. If a guy comes to class and the whole time he's just texting, then he's never going to get anything in return. So it has to go two ways. That's basically the end of the class, the end of that topic. We said that a guy that wants to learn Torah, it has to come from himself, and it can't be out of someone forcing the whole time. It's got to be first a yearning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we said. We learned this from an interesting story. Two stories I want to give it to you. One story is from a holy rabbi, a Tana. His name was Hillel. Have you heard of Hillel? Hillel Hazaken. Hillel Hazaken.
Ah, nice.
What happened with him?
Shammai's friend.
Every day, Shammai's friends. They were friends. They weren't enemies. They were friends.
They argued.
They had machlokit, but they were very good friends.
Right.
It says by Hillel, he used to work every day,
So
right? And he would make 2 shekels, let's say.
Democrat.
He would make 2 shekels. And every single day, Modi, you ready? You good? Every single day, the guy Hillel would make 2 shekels.
Wow, huge.
1 shekel he would take.
Mother-in-law makes them like that.
They're nice, those are big ones.
Modi, I can't join the house. I can't join.
Every day, the guy would make Hillel would make 2 shekels.
Right.
1 shekel he would take and support his whole family. 1 shekel he would take and put in his pocket and support his whole family. Get his food, everything with that 1 shekel. And the other shekel he would go to the yeshiva, to the yeshiva, the Beit Midrash, and he would pay the fee to get in. In those days, there was a fee to go learn Torah.
Right.
You hear that? There was a fee to go to yeshiva.
Only in Israel.
Back in the day, actually, yeah, it was in Israel. Back in the day. But listen to this. The yeshiva had a fee to get in. There was a guard at the door. If you didn't pay your fee, you're not coming in.
Wow.
That was in those days, in the days of Hillel. That was what it was.
Why?
It's kind of like that today.
Right.
No.
No, it should be, no.
Listen, you're not
It
talking
is.
about the high
Shul
holidays.
No, not a school. He's
I
right.
don't know what you're talking about. How is it? You pay shul once a month.
Right. The membership
Why
is
Shul
right.
once a month.
Why
You
you
member of the
get
shul.
away with it,
I don't pay shit.
No, once a year.
Father does.
You get away with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Doesn't
guys.
matter- okay, I have a
The
seat,
seats
so
are the
you
membership.
bought a
The seats are the membership for the
No,
shul.
but he
When is a
bought
membership
something.
to a
You can
shul?
free go to
You
shul.
need to have a
Hey,
shul.
of course you could, but that's free.
Right.
You end up on those folding chairs.
I'm just saying.
Right, you're saying in those days.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy.
It's not a guy.
I understand what you're saying. 100%.
It's not crazy.
100%.
Yeah.
But
You're right.
it's frowned upon. But here,
Okay.
here is a different topic. Here the guard would not let you into the building.
Right. Right.
Here you can't get into the folding chair even. Like what you said, a guy doesn't pay for the seat, so he's sitting on the bleacher. He's sitting in the women's section. Fine.
Right.
But here in this story, Hillel didn't have enough money that day. He had 2 shekels, and he didn't make the other shekel. He only made 1 shekel this day. So of course, the first shekel he went and gave it to his family to support them, and the next shekel he didn't have to go to yeshiva. So he goes to the front door, and the guard's in the front door. And he tells them, "Listen, every day I'm here, I pay you. Today I didn't make enough money. I can't pay to get in. Can't pay. I'll pay tomorrow."
Wow.
He said, "No, you can't get in. Can't get in." So the famous
To Hillel?
Tehillim.
He wasn't the biggest rabbi of the
No,
time.
he had rabbis in Tehilim, Shemaya and Abtayon. They were his rabbis. So he decided he wants to hear the class. He wants to, I don't care what happens, I'm going to hear the class. He goes on top of the roof.
Wow.
And it says in the Gemara that day was Erev Shabbat. It was Erev Shabbat, it was very Friday afternoon. And it says there was Chodesh Tevet, it was a month of
You
Tevet.
let it climb at Shabbat?
No, it was Erev Shabbat, it was right before Shabbat. Erev was a Friday afternoon, right before Shabbat. And it was the month of Tevet, which was a very cold month in Israel.
Sure.
And he goes on the roof, and the famous story is he's listening to the class, and he's so he's so engrossed in the class,
Yeah, TV, February. in Israel.
and he's lying there, and it starts snowing, and it says he totally got buried in the snow. It says 3 amot of snow was on top of him.
Was he wearing one of those
6
triangles?
feet.
I don't know what he was wearing. It doesn't say what he was wearing, but he's on the roof, and he falls, and he gets pretty much buried in the snow. In the morning, they come into the yeshiva. Shmaya Avtayom, they come to the yeshiva, and Shmaya tells his partner, the rabbi Avtayom, says, "I don't understand. Today is a sunny day. When I was outside, the sun was shining. In the yeshiva, it's so dark. What's going on over here?" They look up at the skylight, and they see a body on the
Oh
skylight.
my god.
They go up to the skylight. Again, it's Shabbat now. It's already Shabbat the next day.
Yeah.
So they go up to the skylight, and they see he's inside the snow. So they take him out of the snow, and they look at him.
He's like
He's
unconscious?
freezing. It said they did it.
Sure.
They did Tehiyah. Not he didn't die, but however he was unconscious. They brought him back, and they said they have 2 options. It's Shabbat now. What do we do? And they said it's worthy to Mechalel Shabbat because it's Sakanat Nefashot.
Yeah.
We're gonna die. So they gave him a hot shower, hot water on Shabbat with Asur, but they gave him a hot water shower, and they made him feel good. They gave him tea and put him, made him, warm and everything. And from that day on, they decided that there's not gonna be any more guard by the door anymore.
Wow.
Took the guard and took him away. And from then on, the guard was gone. There was no fee to get in. It says on that day they added almost 400 benches to the yeshiva. 400 benches added to the yeshiva just because there was no more guard. No, empty. It's it. Free.
Right.
Now everyone can come and learn.
Sure.
But if you learn from the story that Hillel, you know how he wanted to learn? He put his ear to the skylight. He went onto the roof to hear the class because he wanted to hear the class. That was a story back in the Gemara time. I heard a story from Moshe Leaf. He said a story about 50 years ago. There's a yeshiva on Coney Island Avenue. If you drive by, on Coney Island Avenue M, it's a big school. It's called Chaim Berlin. If you guys know it, if you don't know it, big school. And the rabbi that I used to be in that school was Rabbi Hutner. That was his name. He was the one that started the school, Rabbi Hutner. And it says by his class, he used to give a class upstairs on the 2nd floor to very special guys. And whoever came to the class on time was lucky. Whoever came late, the door was blocked. No one can get in. That's what it was. Because he didn't want anyone coming in or going out. That's it. Yeah, he wanted to have a quiet class. So whoever came on time, and you know what they did in those days? It said that Rabbi Hutner's class was, the way it works was everyone comes to the class, everyone would start sitting down and wait for the rabbi. And he would purposely wait everyone's sitting down. One of the students would come out and tell Rabbi, the students are ready. He would come and then give the class.
That was this guy or
'Cause
everyone?
This is this rabbi, Rabbi Hudner. Because he wanted to wait for the boys till they're ready to learn Torah. I'm not going to start class and no one's here. He's going to wait till everyone comes and then start the class. Because
arrogant?
he wants them to come out of themselves. He wants them to have the desire to learn, not arrogance.
No, but okay, so don't start the class till they come, but we have to be outside.
No, meaning he was waiting for someone to come and tell him, the boys are ready to learn Torah. He wants to hear those words. When the boys are ready to learn
For
Torah,
them to do it themselves,
right.
to be able to come.
And it says that one day the door was locked, and a couple of guys came late, and someone snapped a photo. I didn't see it, but there was a photo that the rabbi says. It's a photo that shows that the couple of boys that came late, they were outside the room. They couldn't hear the class. You know what they did? They started lying down on the floor, and they put their ear to the crack between the door and the floor. Right, there's a little space.
Wow.
They put the earlobe to the door to hear the class. That's
Wow.
50 years ago. So that's what we learn. That's what it means to have a yearning to go to class. And sometimes we go to our master's class, right? The place is full, 500 people in the shul. And there's guys outside, there's guys on folding chairs. That's what it costs to come here at class. That's what it means. You go to any shul sometimes and the shul's packed, right? You can't get in. You go to a wedding, right? There's no seats. You have to go to the Shayitzion, the women's section. People are coming to the ceremony. Whatever reason you want to give it, they're doing mitzvah. So the place is packed. So if you look at that
That
point.
the ceremony?
Oh, I'm going to give you guys a chidush. It says an amazing pasuk. When you go to the wedding to make somebody happy, not to eat the food, not to go see drinks. When you go to the wedding to make someone happy, it's as if he's learning Torah. I don't know if you guys know that. Again, if the guy goes to the wedding, it's as if he's learning Torah. It's the same level.
How is that comparison?
Because a guy that is making the Hatam Ekala happy,
Right.
he's fulfilling exactly what Torah wants.
Right.
Again, it doesn't push over a class. It just you can do it after the class, but it's just saying that it's a big mitzvah. It's as if he's learning Torah.
Doesn't push over a class.
It doesn't push over a class, but it's
Right.
as if he's learning Torah. Good. So bottom line, right.
Yeah.
So bottom line, we got to right now that the way to come to the classes is to yearning, come from ourselves, learn from the story of Hudner and the story of Hillel Zakin. Those are the two ways that we have to come to learn Torah, right? Now I'm going to my Parasha. This Parasha, this week. Mishpatim. All that was last week.
Right.
That was all an introduction to get to this week, because this week's Parasha is kind of boring, right? All halachot, all boring stuff. I don't know how I'm going to explain it to you guys. I don't know how I'm going to give you an interesting class, but I'm trying to figure it out. Last week I gave an introduction that we have to yearn to get to the class. That comes to this week's Parasha. Now that a guy got himself to learn and yearn to love Torah, and he wants to come to class, he comes to class now, and he starts to learn Torah. What is the purpose of learning Torah? What's the purpose? Guy goes to class on Shabbat for 2 hours, he leaves the class. Now what? Guy drives to shul, he hears a class of our Mensa, whatever, he hears a class of Hebrew, whatever you want. Chamat Yosef, he hears a class. After the class is done, wow, beautiful chidush, beautiful quote, beautiful thing. But what next? What do you get from the class? Harry, give me an answer. You come to Tuesday night class every week, right? After the class, you leave, you go back home. What happens?
I actually repeat a lot of it.
Fine, you repeat it, it's great.
Yeah.
But what happens to you?
And your mindset changes a little bit.
And then what happens?
Nice.
What happens?
Then
You feel good with what? So what you feel good?
Inspired.
Inspired to do what?
Closer to religion.
And then what?
Not really get close. You're just on a high.
I'm going to the bottom of the question. Ali, give me an answer. Guy comes to class, what is the reason for coming to class?
You think differently.
And then what?
Change your
I want to hear the next step, guys.
Stay engaged.
Huh?
Stay engaged.
Stay engaged, and then what? Again, this Parasha.
Apply everything you learned. Get closer to God.
Now you're saying things. To start applying
Apply it to
things.
your life.
This Parasha is all halachot. So what is the reason? What is the reason for telling me all these halachot? Yeah, to know the rules, right? So I can't hit my father. I can't steal from my brothers. I can't curse out anybody else.
Right.
I can't do all these things. Okay, fine. But then what? What's the reason for all this? So listen to this amazing thing. Listen, well, what happened? That means l'chaim, schnapps, l'chaim.
Shucky's biggest fan.
The whole reason, I'll give you right now, the whole reason why we learn Torah is for one reason. To do the actual mitzvah.
Right. Sure.
That's all it is.
So how
Do the
come?
mitzvah. You
so
would
how-
not know how to do the mitzvah
So do you
if
get
you
to,
didn't know how to learn Torah.
Right.
so by learning Torah,
Only gets you to do the mitzvah.
so you get credit for learning.
You
You
get
get to apply.
both.
You get more credit for
If you
learning.
don't apply, you get a mitzvah for schar
Apparently,
limud,
you get
for
more
learning.
credit. Like you said with the mitzvah of.
No, you still have to do it. You still have to do the mitzvah. If you didn't do mitzvah, you just get a mitzvah. You just get a reward for learning Torah.
Because when you learn, you have the potential to do the mitzvah. So it's like two mitzvah learning.
Right. So basically, the whole.
Still.
All right. So guys, so far everyone got me so far. The whole reason why we come to the class is to actually know how to live our life according to the mitzvot. You come to the class, you start learning.
So then us common folk are tasked with finding the right person.
Us
to
what?
tell this story.
What do you mean?
We have to sit through the rabbis. Like, I've been
100%.
through rabbis that are terrible.
100%. It's on the it's
We have to
person.
find somebody that's
100%.
We have to find somebody that's solid and.
You have to find somebody who speaks to you.
Yeah, it connects to you.
That guy could be in California, he could be in Australia, and he could even be in Europe. Doesn't matter where he is, but he has to speak to you. I have a rabbi. I hear classes. People didn't know who he is probably, but his classes go right to my heart. I know exactly what he's saying, and I understand it. Not everyone has that. Some people they love halacha. You see a guy who comes to shul, all he wants to do is on halacha. One guy loves stories. One guy loves Gemara. One guy loves. Everyone has different things. One guy loves Navi, the swords, the killing.
Nobody likes gematria.
Everyone, right?
I love Gematria.
Everyone has
Oh,
different things,
yeah.
right? Everyone has different things. You talk to a guy about the halachot, the basar v'chalav. The guy does not want to hear that. Does not want to hear that. He just wants to hear interesting things. Everyone has a different thing. So it's like you said, it's up to the person to find out what speaks to him. Good? Listen to the story. The whole Torah has one purpose. Ready for this purpose? To understand the answer, we have to go to a story of Hillel Hazaken. Maybe you guys know the story, maybe you don't know the story. There was once, Hillel Hazaken he used to get all these people to ask him these crazy questions, and they would ask him crazy questions. One of the questions is why do Chinese have weird eyes? Why do Africans have big feet? All these crazy questions in the Gemara. And he asked Hillel, and they start bugging him. The Gemara brings a story of a guy that tells his friend, "Listen, I'm gonna give you 100 zuz if you can get Hillel angry." That was $100. $100 if you can get angry.
Why is he weird?
He went there. This guy went there. Erev Shabbat, right before Shabbat, let's say 5 o'clock of Shabbat. I get to his house 4:45. He lives in the shower. Guy knocks on the door, and he just yells at him, "Hillel!" Like a chutzpah, "Hillel, come outside." He yells at him, "Come outside." Comes outside after in the middle of the shower, comes out, whatever, puts his towel on, puts his robe on. "Yes, how can I help you, my son?" Let me ask you a question. Why did the Tehilim have anayim tudot like that? And he answers him, he goes, "Wow, good question. Because of whatever, all these different answers." And then he comes back, 5 minutes later, knocks on the door again. Comes out of the shower, "Yes, how can I help you?" And he keeps on asking these crazy questions. And Hillel does not get angry. Does not get angry, and he keeps his cool, and he knows how to be, patient. Until this guy bugs out, and he says, "You cost me 100 zuz." He says, I lost money from you. So he got angry at Hillel. And he told him, "It's worth it that you should lose the money, and I keep my cool." Meaning,
Right.
forget the money right now. I'm going to keep my cool. You're not going to beat me. So this same Hillel had a characteristic of patience. Interesting story happens. Another guy, non-Jewish guy, wants to convert. So he goes to the house of Shammai. Like you said, there were enemies, they were not enemies. There were just two big rabbis that had a machlokah all the time. So this guy comes, this non-Jewish guy wants to convert. He goes to the house of Bet Shammai and knocks on the door and tells Shammai, "I want to ask you a question." He says, "Yes, how can I help you?" He says, "I want to learn the whole Torah on 1 foot." 1 foot. So Shammai takes him and throws him to the pillar of the house. He says, by the amah of the house, the pillar of the house is like a beam. He takes him and he throws him outside the house. Shammai. Took him to the house. Throw him out of the house. Again, you guys have to know Shammai. Shammai is very, very strict. Very strict. He's not, you don't mess around with Shammai. So the guy came to Shammai and told him, "I want the Torah on 1 foot." He thought he was making a joke at him, like, we don't mess around with you guys. He took him, he threw him by the pillar of the house. That's what it says. The same guy comes to Hillel.
So he doesn't have the patience. Shammai.
It sounds like it, but I'm going to give you the answer, what it really means. But he threw him out of the house.
No, there's
There wasn't $100 bet.
So the same guy comes to Hillel. He knocks on Hillel's door. "Hillel, I want to know the whole Torah on 1 foot." He says, "You want to know the whole Torah on 1 foot? Okay. That's it.
I knew that one.
You want to know the whole Torah on one foot? I'll give it to you right now. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. That's it. If you know that quote, you have the whole Torah kulah. That's all it says. What does this Gemara mean? So again, you could tell me, going back to Shammai, why did he throw out of the house? You would say he has no patience, right? No. Shammai was saying, and they have a machloket, right? But it's not just a surface machloket. They have a deeper concept. It's philosophy. Shammai was saying, I don't believe that just ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha is going to get me to learn the whole Torah. Meaning a guy that wants to convert. Doesn't know anything about anything. Doesn't know about Shabbat. Doesn't know Tehilim. Doesn't know kosher. Doesn't know anything.
He's not gonna
If you tell me ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, he's not going to know how to become a religious guy with Shabbat. He's not going to know how to put Tehilim on. It's not going to help him. So he took him and threw him outside, meaning your question doesn't even stand. It's not a valid question. That's one answer. A second answer I heard is Shammai was telling him you can't learn Torah on one foot. It's not in or out. You got to have 2 feet inside. If you want to learn Torah, it's 2 feet. You got to be grounded.
That's so he threw him out.
When they throw him out, it's not meaning that actually the guy took him and yelled at him. Meaning this question is not valid. Meaning get out of here. When says
Like
he
you're
threw,
crazy. You're not
he
gonna
threw him
do
to a
Torah on
pillar.
one foot, you know?
There's a reason why he said pillar. It's a deeper, but he threw him outside. Hillel was saying, you know what? Even if you only have 1 foot in, even if the guy's not so religious, he's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's on a he's got a problem in his mind. Should I do Shabbat? Not do Shabbat? He's saying, I'm not going to talk to you about Shabbat. If a guy comes to Hillel and says, listen, I want to keep kosher, I don't know what I should do, he'll tell him, you know what, forget kosher right now. Do one thing. That's it. If you do that, that's the whole Torah. Now comes to my parasha, this parasha, Mishpatim. The whole parasha is about halachot. What's the reason for all these halachot? For one reason. Chesed. That's all it is. All the rules that we have in the 613 mitzvot, it's only for one thing. To get you to do chesed. When you do chesed, I'll tell you, listen to this. When you do chesed with another person, that is going to get you to eventually love Hashem. You know why? Because if you can appreciate your friend, what he did for you, then you'll definitely guarantee to appreciate what Hashem did for you. If a friend gave him, I gave him a big deal, when I hooked him up with a nice deal, and he took care of him, you're going to take care of him back, right? If Hashem planted a tree and gave you fruit, you're not going to take care of him? You're not going to take a fruit and make a bracha? You're not going to make a suda? You're not going to do these things for Hashem? So all these things come through the main quote of the Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. I'm going to give you one proof. Am I late? No. Everyone's good so far? Interesting, boring? Get out of the house?
Mishpatim.
Good. Get out of the house? Okay. I want to give you guys one proof from this parasha. This parasha is it's the hardest parasha to give you guys a class on. But I take one proof. Okay? There's an interesting halakha that talks about Eved Ivri, a guy that steals. Harry, you have a bull in your house, right? Today there's a bull that ran away, right? You ever saw the news? There's a bull that escaped from the no one saw the news?
Yeah, I saw that.
You don't? Okay.
No.
A bull, there's a bull.
Where?
A bull.
Where?
Not a cow, a bull. In Queens.
Queens.
Just a cow?
It wasn't a cow, it was a bull.
What happened to it?
There was a bull in the slaughterhouse that escaped. It ran all around the Queens. It ran around all the streets.
Which city?
Look on New York Post.
Not New York, is it?
New York saw that in Queens.
In
Queens. They killed him. The cops killed him. They tranquilized him.
Coming to theaters, summer 2018.
Not kosher. The halal. The Arabs. They had him. I don't know. It was in the slaughterhouse. The guy escaped. Right? Guy ran around the whole Queens. It's in the news today. So Harry, you have a bull in your house, right?
Sure.
Harry has a bull. Everybody has a bull.
I got one in my bed.
Harry, I have a reason that I want to get back at you for some reason. I go and steal Harry's bull. I steal your bull. I take the bull, I steal it from you, and now I sell it on the black market for $1,000. Okay?
Bitcoin.
Now you come back to me and say, wait, Charles, you stole my bull. You owe me $1,000. I tell you, no, listen, Harry, I'm sorry. I stole your bull, and I sold it. I got $1,000. However, the money fell in the water, and I lost all the money. What do I do? On one hand, I owe him the $1,000.
Right.
You owe him a bull.
I own the bull. The bull's gone. I owe the money for the bull. The money is gone. What do I do? I can't pay him back. What do I do?
Become his slave.
So I says become his slave. I have to be his slave.
Learned that from Seinfeld.
For how long?
I wish it could.
For 6 years. 6 years. Or until I pay you back.
Right.
Okay? I can either be a slave for
Who
6
determines the amount of years? That's the rule?
6 years.
Value.
Until Shemitah.
You refer to
Wow.
Shemitah could be next
You refer
year.
to him as Massa?
Master.
Max,
Master.
6 years.
Master.
Maximum 6 years, because Shemitah could be in that
Right.
year.
So if it's whatever it is, that's the highest point you can have for 6 years. Or till the guy pays it back.
Right.
Now listen to this amazing halakha. Doesn't it sound like a rude, like a cruel thing? Take a Jew and make him a slave as another Jew? That makes no
Horrible.
sense. right?
Yeah,
To
the
our-
Arabs, they chop off people's arms for stealing.
Okay, but we're talking about Jewish Torah. It's not a secular thing. This is a Jewish Torah. What's the reason for this halakha? What's the logic behind this? You probably never heard this before. You're going to hear an amazing thing. Why will the Torah command somebody to be a slave for somebody else?
There's no other way to pay it back.
No, there is another way. You can just tell the guy, listen, work in a company,
Or
and
another
another company, all the money that you work on the company, put on the side and pay him back slowly. You can say that. Or you can say, go look in your house for anything that's worth the money and pay back. But it doesn't say that. It just says, go be a slave.
Right.
Listen to this amazing thing. You know what happens when the guy's a slave? Now it's a regular slave by the guy's house, every divi. Torah says if you're on a table and you're eating, you and your slave are eating on the table, right? And there's only one piece of steak on the table. Only one piece of steak. Who do you give it to? Do you eat it? You're the master. Do you eat it? Or do you give it to the slave, the Jewish guy?
Split it.
He served
No,
you.
you
don't
don't
split
split
it.
He served you help first.
You have to give the slave that whole piece of meat. Another question, the guy's sleeping on a bed. He only has one mattress in the house. Or has one pillow. And the slave has no pillow. Do you sleep on a pillow? Or the slave sleeps on the pillow?
Get rid of the slave.
Torah says you have to give the pillow to the slave. You have to. You can't sleep on it. You have to give it off.
Why?
Doesn't that sound like a weird thing? You're the master, he's a slave. Why do you have to give him anything? The guy stole from you and he has no money to give you. You have to start giving him the last piece of meat. You have to give him a pillow. You have to give him your mattress. Why? Listen to the answer. The Torah is giving you an answer on how to... You guys are good?
No.
You guys are doing the beaming? You're beaming the class? You know how you used to do the beaming to each other? The Torah is giving you guys a lesson.
Palm pilots?
Yeah, the palm lines. Remember, you hold the phone together, you can beam it, right? You can beam the snake game, right? You can beam it correctly. So Torah is giving you an answer how to do therapy. How to do therapy. We'll give you an example. In anywhere in the world, a guy steals, he goes to jail. He goes to jail and he comes out with a 101 in criminology. That comes out a bigger criminal than when he went in.
Right.
He comes in for stealing a gun, and he comes out killing 2 people. How did that happen? Because in jail, it made him much worse than he did. Because it doesn't take care of the problem. It just contains him and throws him in a cell and makes the guy go crazy. The guy comes out and he kills everybody. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know if you guys know the news, but Obama, he gave a pardon to one of these guys. He gave a pardon to a big criminal. A big, he didn't kill anybody, but he was a big criminal in terms of the theft. He gave a pardon to one of these guys. Not only, maybe 2 to 3 weeks later, the guy was back in jail for stealing another thing. Does not make any sense. He was in jail for 8 years. He got Obama to pardon him. Guy is free, came back to jail. What happened? How did the guy go into jail and come out and he came back to jail?
Right.
Torah says the guy's gonna be your slave. And when he's your slave, you gotta teach him therapy. You know how to teach him therapy? By doing chesed.
Wow.
The guy's on the table now, there's only one piece of meat. The guy's mind, he's a stealer. He came into the slave as a stealer, right? So by his mind is, this master's definitely gonna take this piece of meat, because I'm nothing, right? All of a sudden, she's the master giving him a piece of meat, giving him his pillows. Wow, somebody's doing good for me.
Is it only if it's a Jewish slave?
If it's every Kanani,
So it's not a Jewish slave.
they're all different halachot. If it's every Kanani, and it's not a Gemara class. It's very the whole Gemara on that, the whole Masechet Kedushim, whole different thing.
I don't know how you do it.
But
I'll take the jewels.
guys, this is the last part of the class.
He gave me the meat.
This is the last part of the class. When this slave starts to see that, wow, the master is giving me the piece of meat, he starts to realize that, wow, there's a concept of chesed in the world.
Right.
There's a concept that someone's doing good for me. So now when he leaves the master's house after 6 years or whatever, after the money's paid off, he can say, wow, you know what? I know what chesed is because my master treated me good. He gave me the piece of meat. He gave me the pillow. Now when he goes back out into society, he's not going to go out and steal anymore. He's going to do chesed because he knows what chesed was. He learned for 6 years what chesed was.
Mm-hmm.
In American society, it's not like that. The guy goes into jail, they throw him to the side, he comes out as a rapist, killer, and a murderer. Why? Because that's what he learned from jail. They didn't teach him how to correct the problem. Some jails, they do. Some jails, they give him a job.
I'm not a doctor.
Some jails, you go to jail for larceny, whatever, for stealing, and they give you a job, carpentry, building things. You know why? Because when the guy builds something, he says, wow, I know what it takes to build something. I don't want anyone to steal from me, so now he's not going to steal from anybody else. That's what the Torah is. That's the beauty of the Parasha. The whole Parasha is to teach you one thing, chesed.
Nice.
That's what it all is. The whole Torah is for one thing, chesed. When you do chesed, that's going to get you closer to Hashem. That's going to get you to Torah, and that's eventually going to get you to class. That's what all this class is about. It's for one thing. We come to class, you know what one thing is? Chesed. That's all. I try to give you guys chesed, you give me chesed, you give your friend chesed, we do Tehilim. All this is chesed. It's all it's about. Nothing else. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.
Man. What they give a neighbor? One person?